it can attack the sun in a matter of a duty and make it disappear into a hole which is not visible, which doesn't occupy any space. So that is what we are talking about. According to the Quran, He created universe and He would make the universe wrapped up and dissolve into nothingness until everything will disappear, and then He will recreate it. So the doomsday we are talking about in physical terms would be the end of the universe, which will be re-wrapped into a form which is not correctly conceivable by the scientists, but mathematical projections can create an image that this might have happened. But there are other possibilities, and scientists themselves agree. They say there is also a likelihood of universe sinking into the black hole from the dimensions we know here on earth into some other dimensions, so that the death of universe is the creation of another in different dimensions. And when that universe ultimately ripens there, reaches its designed end, then it is again squeezed into nothingness and a new universe is born on our side of the dimensions. It's very difficult to understand for people who do not know what dimensions are, what are the mathematical possibilities. But I'm not talking of layman's dreams, I'm talking of scientists' verdict, the possibilities. So, doomsday, if you must have an explanation of doomsday in physical terms, would be the time when the universe would reach that ultimate limit where it must be drawn back into nothingness from where it erupted. Now, about the word day, it is very important to understand the term day. If you are talking of 24 hours day, then your question is very valid. In fact, it is unanswerable by any believer in the doomsday as we believe. But the day is explained in the Holy Quran as a term which may be applicable even to 18 billion years. The day of God is different from the day of human beings as they count. And the Holy Quran gives examples. I have calculated them to work it up to the age of the universe. And you'll be surprised to learn, if you go through that mathematical calculations, that nothing is concocted. It's all based on the Quranic statement and the scientific understanding of the universe's age, etc. My working was around 18 billion and some 100,000 years as the age of the universe according to the Quran. The scientists say it is between 15 billion and 20 billion. So there is no way yet for them to determine exactly whether it's closer to 15 or closer to 20. But the way I worked it out, it happened to be 18 billion some. So if that be the age of the universe, we should expect at the end of this period some doomsday. And some doomsday must have taken place before, because the Holy Quran says this is a process which is ongoing process, unending process. We have been doing this before and we will do it again. So you are quite right to understand that this is not just one doomsday. There must have been previous doomsdays and there must come other doomsday. And this is a constant ongoing process. But another thing, doomsday is, as I have said, is not just one short day of 24 hours, but it may be a process which is extended into 1,000,000 years or 1,000,000,000 years according to God, in which people are reckoned as they appear before Him. But not immediately as they return, they go through a process of change, a process of transformation of their souls, to a point where a soul is born out of the soul, which we know as rare as compared to our body. So that the soul appears to be a sort of material thing as compared to the soul born out of that soul. So they're all relative terms. So we believe that souls go through a long process of evolution whereby they reach a spiritual form, as if they're reborn. And then the doomsday for them will begin. Now, as far as the belief in reincarnation is concerned, I believe that the Sikhs particularly have no right to believe in that, because they never received this message from Hazrat Guru Baba Nanak. There is not a shred of evidence from which we can say that Hazrat Guru Baba Nanak spoke of reincarnation on this earth. And he couldn't have, because he was extremely critical of Vedas. As you know your Granth Sahib, you know he was very critical of Vedas. And this is one of the Vedic teachings which was imparted to Sikhism slowly, gradually, without their taking notice of it, because a lot of Sikhs hail from the Hindu stock. So they accepted this, it crept into them unnoticed. And it's not possible anyway, because if this theory of reincarnation is correct, then according to this theory, those who act wrongfully in this world, of human beings, they do not return to this earth in the form of human beings. Their status is lowered to the lower forms of life. They could even be recreated by way of punishment as worms, or insects, or dogs, or lions, or things like that. Now we know that this age is Kal Yuga, sinful age. So here the question should arise that of the danger of extermination of human race. Because when a sinful society dies, it should not be raised again in human form. But what we find is exactly the opposite. People, the scientists particularly, are worried about extinction of some forms of animals. But they are not worried about the extinction of human race. It's the contrary. They say some measures should be adopted, to plan, family planning and do this. Otherwise there will be too many human beings born. So how could a sinful society, according to the philosophy of reincarnation, have multiplication and such rapid multiplication of a sinful people? They should have been relegated to the lower order of life. So this means that this is just an explanation of older generations, which was not accepted by Hazrat Guru Baba Nanak, the founder of Sikhism, and should not be subscribed to by the Sikhs today. Thank you.
Hazur, next questioner is Mr. Francis Smart from Sierra Leone.
You always say Sierra Leone, as if it's a part of Syria.
Sierra Leone.
It is Sierra Leone, not Syria, please.
Thank you.
The question reads, in medicine, fasting is considered to be detrimental to one's health. Fasting is one of the contributing factors in the development of peptic ulcer disease, particularly gastric ulcer. What is the position